So third time's the charm.
Yep, hopefully. Welcome to the alternate universe of World of Final Fantasy,
Yes.
where our recording didn't crash several times and eat hours of footage.
Totally didn't. Except it did.
Due to the universe jump, several names have changed.
Okay, so basically what happened was... Thank you for leaning away from the camera to do that. The camera... In this universe, we have cameras.
Yes. You don't get to see them, but they're there.
So we basically played ahead about 5 hours from the point we were at in the last episode. And on both of those recording sessions, something fucked up.
Right. We had a lot of technical.
Right. The first session, I believe we just had a overall, I think the computer crash.
Yeah, that one was a computer crash, and we lost a bunch of footage.
Right, and so our thing, we were like, that's no problem. We'll rewatch the cutscenes, and then we'll play again from there. And it was fine. It was it was jank, but we did what we had to. And then in the mediary time, I'd upgraded the Elgato to be a 4K 60, so like the best one they've got right now. And I didn't realize there were a bunch of settings in there that will just fuck up your footage if you don't do it right.
Oh, good.
And actually, it's one of those things. And also, my hillbilly neighbors are doing that shit.
Hooray!
It's sort of these things where it's like I think it's flashback recording where it's supposed to, if you're recording and you have a crash, it'll record up to like 5 minutes backwards. But the setting doesn't work, and instead it corrupts your footage and makes it bad.
Good.
So yeah, all of our footage was just impossible to use for about 5 hours of gameplay, which is terrible.
Right.
So basically, I was like, why doesn't anything work? And we went on a hiatus for me to make sure everything worked, everything would go forward.
Mm-hmm. And to finish Yakuza Kiwami 2.
And for me to finish Yakuza Kiwami 2 finally, which ended up being like an hour and a half.
It's that last little bit that gets you.
It's the last little bit that gets you. So what I had to do, because this only has one save file, is I had to restart the game all the way from the beginning.
Reboot the universe.
And get us back up to the point where we were at so that we could proceed forward.
Right.
So this is essentially our third time playing the scene we're going to get up to soon here.
We'll try to act surprised.
Yes, we will try our best to act surprised at that one thing that happens.
Right.
So here's what happened. I've kind of sort of learned a few things over the course of this game. So we do have fewer mirages this time around.
Okay.
But that is because I have mastered the art of only needing to capture one per family.
Okay.
So what that means is, so you'll see we don't have Cerberus right now.
Right.
But we do have Fenrir, who is I've named Nick Knack. Because when I got him, he was a black Knack from like the first area.
Right.
You will remember when we go through the Mirage boards, there would be one that would say Transfigure and one that would say Unlock the Mirage board.
Yeah.
Unlocking the Mirage board literally makes you turn into the other of that. So you don't have access to the Transfigurations or their boards, but you are the other thing.
Okay.
And I'll give you an example here with Koopa the Moogle.
Hey, buddy.
So right now, as a Moogle, he has access to the Moogle board, which right now is all maxed out.
Okay.
I did my best this time around to try and max out the first boards for everybody.
Okay.
As I went along. And he can also become a Koopirate.
Okay.
Which I haven't gotten much from anyways. But he also has the ability, we've unlocked the Mirage board for... Where is it? It might be on the Koopirate board. Somewhere along here, we have the ability to become the Koopikaroon.
Okay.
Which, if you remember, are the guys who inflict Berserk and kicked my ass.
Right.
I beat their asses, which meant I could make Koopikaroons. So what I would actually do here is I would go to Koopo and I would transfigure into a Koopikaroon.
Okay.
Now here's the thing. He just went from a level 31 Moogle to a level 31 Koopikaroon.
Okay.
Which means
You have 31 levels worth of Mirage
I
Board
have
points?
31 levels worth of points, which gives me 41 points, which means I can just go in here and be like, I want water, I want magic plus, yeah, go sync bonus, 50%, I'll give defense plus, give me HP plus, give me all this shit, give me, which has made getting multiple Mirages fucking pointless, because it would actually be more effort to level them up than to just level up one of the ones I already have.
Okay.
So, yeah, I can just go in here and just give every blank space, fuck it. We'll give him strength plus, and we'll give him Kupar, and we'll get a Watera Jewel, and then we'll get the Kupar in prison. And see, he only has one other thing to get on this board, which means even though I'm going in here and I'm going to go boop and make him a Moogle again because I want that stack to have a Moogle in like 3 or 4 more levels, he's still going to have 3 more Kupikaroon points I can use to max out that board and be done with it. And I've just been doing that with as many of these bastards as I can do, which is why this is a Moo from like the first time you get a Moo, but I've unlocked both the other side, which is the Reaver Moo with the Nut Eaters, but also the Skull Eater version, which is what he's on right now.
Okay.
So we're going to go into the area that's going to have the Skull Eaters or the Nut Eaters, one of the two. And we don't even need to fucking get one.
Okay.
And I'm keeping him around here because also he becomes, apparently he can become a Carbuncle at some point.
Okay.
And those are really good. Which is why, yeah, this guy's going to be our new Cerberus once I get enough points to make him Cerberus.
So he'll actually have levels.
Yes. Only one problem with that right now is that Gamera has all the strength and everything from being a mini Mantoise, but he doesn't have any actually really good moves yet. So he can hit pretty decently, and he can take a bunch of hits because he's got 5,000 fucking HP.
Yeah.
But he can't really inflict a lot of damage or use any special moves.
Okay.
But he's also, look at his stats. He's got defense and magic defense out the butt, and less, still pretty decent strength, but less.
That's some nice magic.
Mithril Giant here is capable.
Also got some nice magic.
Yes. The other thing
I've
realized is our buddy Fritter here.
Yeah.
Who is from the Ifrit chain. So, I went to get the other guys, because I wanted to have. So here's all the ones we have.
Yeah.
Otherwise, so I have unlocked every one of the ones in these trees.
Okay.
And basically, if they're in here, I'm either going to later or have already maxed out their trees.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna get the Mimic all leveled up, and I'm gonna go get. I only have the one dragon, the Holy Dragon, because I can make that into a Thunder Dragon, a Fire Dragon.
So did you actually capture the Holy Dragons from that other fight that kicked your ass?
Yes, but I had done that last time as well.
Okay.
I actually went through basically every fight that I could to get Mirage. Like every Mirage that we've encountered in the game so far, I think is represented in here somehow in some way.
Okay.
Including all of the princesses that we've gotten so far. So we have a Dead Princess and Princess Goblin. I'm working on getting the Flan Princess right now because I went back and beat them as well.
Okay.
So everything that we've encountered should have been beaten at some point in some way somehow.
Okay.
In fact, I didn't even capture Cerberus and Adamantoise. I just beat them and
leveled them up.
So while I was getting these two.
Yeah.
I learned a valuable lesson. 1 or 2 levels in this game is important.
Okay.
Because I went to this area and got my ass kicked. Managed to cheese like 2 fights out. Got up like 2 or 3 levels and was equally beating everything that had just whooped my butt. So only getting a couple of levels in this game is kind of a big stat boost. And that's probably why grinding in this game really isn't something you do unless you're trying to get a weaker Mirage up to your current level.
Makes sense.
The other thing I learned is, if you look at the abilities, this is kind of some stuff we've already known. The green highlighted abilities are not carried over to other forms.
Okay.
Which means that all of the world map interacting skills don't carry over.
Huh.
At all.
That's kind of annoying.
So I went and caught a new Dramut.
Okay.
Named Jet because in his description he says he hates Tidus. And this buddy has all 3 elemental world interacts.
Okay.
So he has Zap, he has Sizzle, and he has Chill. So with that combined with, I think, Kupo should have Hover or Flap or whatever it's called. and we have our giant here for Smash. We have everything covered right now.
Okay.
And I've also got the Chocobo in here because he gets Gill Finder.
Okay.
Which gives us more money when we fight battles. So right now these two I'm keeping around for just leveling's sake. These three make a pretty good healing combo. These three, Tama is maxed out right now, has no more abilities to learn until the story progresses.
Right.
So I'm like, fine, keep giving me points to bank. I don't care. I'll do whatever.
Because when Tama unlocks her Naruto form.
Yes, and combined with Fritter, they do have some pretty strong fire attacks, including Foxfire, which is a Tama ability, which is really, really strong. At least in the fights that I've been using, it is really, really strong. So we've got a fairly good combo going right now, and Fritter actually is his Mirage board is fairly filled up on both. I think his base form is completely filled. Yeah, his is completely filled, and I can't go to any of the other Mirage boards without obtaining something, which I imagine has to come from a boss fight or another Ifrit form. So these three right here, which is a total of 9 points, are the only things I can purchase for Fritter right now.
Okay.
So assuming we get those,
yeah.
I might sub him out for the others, get them brought up until eventually we get whatever items we need to progress them.
I think I know where those are from, because there's a gender swap version of Ifrit, Shiva, and Ramu in this game.
That is not surprising to me, at the least. Because this penguin is going to turn into a princess at some point, and so is this pistachio pudding. Also, I can turn this into a chrome giant.
Neat.
If I wanted to, but I don't.
He can Google things for us.
He can. So yeah, I know that was like 10 minutes of exposition.
Thank you for the info dump.
Of me catching up on everything that's been going on. But
I will notice that despite all of this, you did not fix Go Biscuit's name.
I went out of my way to make Go Biscuit's name correct, because it did actually save all of our name inputs in the PlayStation server. I just had to try and remember what we named them. So for some of them, I couldn't get their names back, but the ones that I do, I was like, oh, we named him that. And I was like, we named him something. It began with a this and a that, and then it was in the listing. So I was like, oh, cool. So I was able to get some of the names back. So it's, yes, he's exactly how he should be. So
he's still Go Biscuit, and I'm still Go Brian.
Yes.
Good.
And I forget which, I think I was the one who got to be the princess.
Probably.
I'm not going to go back and check. I'm going to save one more time just to be sure.
Okay.
So, there we go.
That is the exposition dump complete.
That is all the information you need to know.
Now let's go to the caravan, where we will be very surprised.
Oh, and the Coliseum, I have everything I can beat at my current level.
Okay.
I have beaten. So... I'm trying to take a drink real quick.
While Cameron is taking a drink, I will point out that person in the foreground has a fish on their head, which is very adorable, as it does its little fishy floppies.
There are many people in this game that have a fish on their head. Alrighty.
To the desert.
To the desert. To the dessert. We still have to get some stuff for that guy. We don't have it yet.
Okay. Walking through the sands.
Sands of time.
That was a pretty good Prince of Persia game.
Yeah. It was pretty, I mean, it started its own, like, sub-series, one would say.
Yeah.
The reboot series.
I remember it mostly for the boss fight, like, couple hours into the game where you have to fight your sand corrupted dad.
Yeah.
And I would always get my ass kicked on that fight. And then I would basically have to like try and find a way to heal from like drinking the water. Like while there were like people on me. And like I would heal and then I would get hurt like right back down to where I was. And it was a pain in the ass. I wonder what the solution to this puzzle is.
I would like to point out that since unfortunately While everything was going very well for us, my splitters are all broken, so only I have audio. Lon was putting on an Australian accent.
Australia, mate.
Because he was in a documentary. So yeah, like, we automatically, I think they might be telling me I need to get cockadrills. Or I can catch these because I technically don't have one right now.
Yeah.
But I do have access to all of these. Because the cockatrices will turn into cockadrills.
Right.
So we don't even have to be here right now. Let's see. What do I want to use on these guys? Kiraga, that's a good one. Unflipped wind damage.
Wind Rhapsody. Hee hee.
Okay, well half of that was good. All right. And then we'll just blaze. Boom.
I like that the little nut eaters have little like brass knuckles on their tails.
Yeah.
It's because they mean business.
I mean business.
They're gonna fuck you up.
We'll fuck you up. Aw, damn it, Pistachio. We're so close.
Yeah, Seraphy, stack those. Seraphy is good.
So, in looking up tips for mirages and stuff, I learned that we might possibly be able to get Seraphy as actually one of our mirages at some point.
Good. Seraphy is great.
Seraphy is pretty great.
She is the second greatest character in this game so far. Right behind Chocolate.
Okay, as I should have known, really.
Chocolate is Chocolat Bay.
Well, that worked.
It did.
Yeah, no, it's been fun going up to fights and being like, I was prepared for you. Boom. There were a couple where I was actually a little under level because I was trying to use different mirages and level them up. And I didn't have the same stacks that I kind of accidentally stumbled into being awesome with. But yeah, no, whenever you go up to something and you go, oh, I remember you, and you're ready to go, it's great.
It's like when you were a kid playing a Pokemon game and you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna use my Charizard because Charizard's the coolest. Fuck you, Misty. And then, you know, when you're an adult, you're like, oh, I know how these...
I should have started this game with a Bulbasaur.
I know how these stats actually work.
I should have had a Bulbasaur this entire time. I'm screwed.
Actually, that's my favorite memory about Pokemon because it involves my brother kind of being an idiot like that. Because he was like 6 when we got our first Pokemon game. So he did not know like really much of anything about how the game worked. And I mean, the first gen Pokemon games also are very obscure about certain things.
Of course, yeah.
Like, fun fact, they don't actually tell you anything about what any of their moves do.
So that won't work. Okay, let's try something else.
So
yeah, no, there's a lot of like hit or miss on these.
Yeah. So they basically what he did is he's just like, okay, I really like Charizard, so I'm gonna use Charizard. So he only used his Charmander. So he just could not beat Misty for the longest time because her Starmie would just kick his ass with Bubble Beam.
You could technically get around Brock with a Charmander.
Yeah. I mean, once it learns Ember, he's basically fucked because of the way Special works.
Oh yeah, there's all that too.
But yeah, he did it.
But yeah, Misty would be a bit tougher.
Yeah, Bubble Beam just was a one hit.
Oh god, Bubble Beam is having tried to do Nuzlocke, Bubble Beam is a run ender.
Yeah,
it will screw you.
So he just kept fainting over and over again. So he had no money because Misty had basically halved his money down to like 5.
Right.
So he finally beats her once he gets like up to like level 30 on a lucky crit.
For the record, these cat enemies turn into the giant sphinx that I've already captured. So
okay,
we're good.
I figured that when you didn't mention them.
Yeah, I was letting the audience know that I was well aware.
Audience knows now.
I'll have to try, knocking these things over. Although I do have misdirection, which has a very high topple strength.
I see that.
So it is useful.
Very topple, such high. So yeah, I always joke that he had a Charizard before he fought Lieutenant Surge because he was so high leveled at that point.
Yeah.
But again, also it was one of those like if you only use one Pokemon, it just gets funneled so much experience.
Of course.
Actually, I had a fun time a while back. I decided to try and do a monotype run through Red and Blue, using
Oh, okay.
only rock Pokemon.
Interesting. I
So
like it.
I had to figure out how to beat Misty pretty much.
And then you'd have to beat Erica too.
Right.
'cause-
Actually, Erica wasn't too bad because of how I planned it out.
Okay.
Essentially, I started with Squirtle and I named him one badge because it wasn't one of those ones where like
Hey, look at that cacti.
That is funny. Remember that time you couldn't make a Cactuar in Kingdom Hearts 3?
Nope.
And then you couldn't run up the Cactuar?
Nope. Don't remember none of that.
Anyway, so
Creepy noise that we've been
you
hearing?
because it wasn't one of those ones where like you cheat your starter, so you still have to start and play normally till you can start catching them. So I had a Squirtle to get me up to Mount Moon. Then I caught Geodude. So my whole point was to level it up to a Graveler,
Okay.
and then pretty much immediately evolve it into a Golem because move pools in Gen 1 were bullshit stupid. So then the strategy was just beat Staryu and then self-destruct.
That thing does 1,000 damage.
Jeez.
Foxfire resistant did 1,000 damage. That's a good move.
Good numbers. Good numbers.
Big damage.
The damage takes so big. Especially since these things only have like a couple hundred hit points based on how easily you knock that one out.
Yeah, well, yeah, they, and when Rhapsody does, like, multi-hits, but they're lower hits, but yeah, like,
Yeah.
somewhere around 800, probably.
Cats fall down.
Cats fall down, go boom.
So yeah, that was pretty much it. Then the other thing is that like Gen 1 is also really not linear at all. Like it's the most non-linear I think of any Pokemon game.
I keep getting lost after Misty, I think.
Right.
Because I know you have to you go down and you get
Yeah.
the Ann because you get the ticket from Bill.
Right. Once you get cut though, the game basically is like you can just go anywhere you want.
Because yeah, I don't remember what it was. Is because I forget that you have to go back to Route 2 through Diglett Tunnel to get Flash.
Uh-huh.
Otherwise, it's a bitch getting through that cave.
The sky's gone all orangey.
I mean, it is if you haven't
Alright,
memorized it like
that's
a
the
weirdo.
one where I have to go back.
Yeah.
I was like, I know one of these I have to go backwards. And by the way, yes, I know the puzzle of this area as well because I fell for it the first time around. Where
You have to
can-
follow the sun.
You have to follow the sun. Ambushed!